that we've been in existence for 2 years, but do we really know what the organization does? So I'm taking this opportunity to share with the best people I know in Los Angeles who've sacrificed their time and their other engagements today to be with us. And this is the most important, that you are with us on our very special day. To begin our conversation on how this whole thing came about, the concept, the idea of this organization probably is like about 5 years old. I had been doing a lot of research on women empowerment, atrocities against women, and I have been collecting data from across the globe. But I did not have that fire in me, inside of me, to decide what should I do and when should I do it. So I had a little struggle there. And then on December 16th, 2012, this horrific incident happened. In New Delhi. And that girl, she died. And I guess that was the turning point. That was the day I made a commitment that I will do something personally. This has to end. We have to respect one another. A woman has to respect the man, and a man has to respect a woman. That's where it begins. Soon after that, my husband and I, we went to a landmark training program which works on self-development and training, and it basically connects you to yourself. And that's what we did. Through an 18-month course, we discovered who we were, and he supported me in my passion, and that's why we have Hope and Life Foundation today. And my family supported me, and then in July of 2013, Hope and Life Foundation was born. Very soon I realized it's not me, it's we. So from one person's dream and determination, it very soon turned into a community organization. And I started getting support. What started out as a 3 board member organization, today we boast of 9 board members in 2 years. Because people have connected. People understand the value. And we are all together here in this room today. Thank you for being with us. This organization has done a lot of work in the community, and I'm going to start with youth engagement. The lady on the left, your left, her name is Sagarika Kayal, and she's not in this room today, but she is the videographer of this organization. She's a high school child, and she takes this as her mission and passion to photograph and talk to the people in the community and ask them, do you know what domestic violence is? Do you know that domestic violence need not necessarily be just, beating and just physical violence? It's more than that. She is that one who asks people in the community in Irvine these questions. And she prepares our videos, and we put them on YouTube for everyone to watch. The second lady who we have just heard through We Shall Overcome is Tanya Roy. She has raised funds for this organization. She gives her time and energy to this organization. Thank you, Tanya. We are proud of you. And today she has even volunteered to be our cashier and collect donations for those of you who would like to donate to the organization. And the lady on the extreme right, her parents are here today. And her name is Anjali Mehta. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Mehta, for being here. And this girl, she goes to a college in Boston, and I do not wish to share the name with you right now, but she is a young lady who's collecting statistics on Title IX violations. Do you know what Title IX is? Rapes on campuses. This young lady collects data from her school, from neighboring schools, and she shares that with us on Google Hangouts, because that's the only way I can get her to speak to us. She's a child going to college. So that is her contribution to this organization. And these are girls in our community who've taken up this mission to end violence before it begins. What have we done in the community? We've done some local outreach. We have a lot of speaking engagements. We speak at Toastmasters, we speak at different places. Recently, Sharmishta actually did speak at the women's conference in Torrance, and that's where she connected with Diane Henry. And Diane Henry is the woman behind today's program, and I will talk a little bit about her. I have never met her till half an hour ago when I saw her in the lobby. And she has worked with this organization the past 6 weeks to make this happen. That is her commitment to this organization. That is her commitment to women all across the globe. And that is Diane Henry. We've also done a lot of work. We donated, thank you to Sandy Hart, and thank you to the World Interfaith Harmony Week. We did a little bit of a conversation between different religions to end religiously motivated violence. We did that on 1st of February this year, where we brought people who follow the African tradition, Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. And we had 4 different groups in conversation in Irvine. And that actually Sandy encouraged us to do this. And we actually were in the United Nations video. They showed our work in the United Nations. That's pretty powerful. We also do, as I mentioned, we do global outreach via Google Hangouts. Thank you, a big thank you to Google for letting us do that. Periodically, there are 8 to 10 women from across the globe. We connect and we share statistics about how women are treated in those countries. So it's all firsthand. We get the data, we keep the data, and I'll tell you later what we're going to do with the data. But that's what we do, firsthand information. Women from the Middle East, from Saudi Arabia, have participated in this conversation. People from United Arab Emirates have participated in this conversation. So this is serious, because that tells you the impact this organization has. We also do a little work with United Nations Association of Orange County. And that organization, what we basically have done in the recent past, we have helped this organization, we've come together and we have drafted the Sustainable Development Goals, which the United Nations is going to adopt very soon. The goals that we wrote, these Sustainable Development Goals, will replace the Millennium Development Goals. It's high time, isn't it? 15 years ago is when the clock turned, right? So high time, we have the SDGs in place, and we worked as an organization, we worked with United Nations Association to get those drafted, and they were shared with the Department of Justice and other organizations at Washington, D.C. Next slide. Here is another thing that we do. This is Hope and Life Foundation is a cooperation circle of United Religions Initiative. And in this room, we have John, we have Sandy, and we have Anne, who are sitting at the last table over there, who are very inspirational, and they are constantly working to end violence that is motivated through religion. And Sandy, as of this morning, I just learned, she was the URI national director. I think she's just stepped down. And she is this power-packed woman that you will, well, you'll probably hear her shortly. But yes, we have been working with them and to end religiously motivated violence. Cities for CEDAW. How many of us even know what CEDAW is in this room? Okay. It is the United Nations Convention to Eliminate Discrimination Against Women. This was actually passed in the Beijing conference in 1995. My mentor, who's missing from today's luncheon, Kathy Murty, was actually there in Beijing in 1995, writing those goals and was part of that treaty. They were in process developing the treaty to end violence against women. That happened 20 years ago. Yet, you and I are talking about violence against women today. That's not okay. And we all know that. So Cities for CEDAW actually is a program that was initiated in March of 2014. And it is basically what we're trying to do is get 100 cities to sign the treaty, because the United Nations, it went to the Senate floor 3 times. The United States signed it in 1979. President Carter signed the treaty in 1979, but it went to the US floor 3 times, Senate floor 3 times, and it wasn't adopted by the US. So that's why we have women like Elahi, who is the global council person for CEDAW, not Cities for CEDAW, for CEDAW. She's amongst us today because she realizes the value of the Cities for CEDAW program. And Hope and Life Foundation is involved in the Cities for CEDAW program. Last week, I reached out to 34 mayors in Orange County, and I have requested them to attend the Roundtable Conference in San Francisco today. It's going on today. So that's why a lot of the people who wanted to be here today cannot. They're making decisions up there in San Francisco at the Roundtable Conference. And what are we doing in the near future? Of course, we are committed to women and making life safer for women. So what we are planning to do, and if you will strictly keep this inside the room, we are planning to come up with a device that can potentially save lives. And I'm afraid I can't say anything more at this time. We are going to develop a device, design, develop, market it, and very soon we'll probably pick 100 women and children in Los Angeles to do the testing for this device. And we will share the results with all of you who are in the room today. I have your email addresses. And of course, we will deliver. And soon after that, if we can raise enough funds, or if we have a real estate company, or if we have a builder that can donate a center to us, we would love that. If not, we're going to go all out, collect the funds to have a walk-in center. And what I mean by that is no woman or man or child who's been abused will be turned away because somebody did not understand their language, because they did not know how to communicate, because they did not know who would represent them in a court case. They will not be turned away by this organization once we set up that walk-in center. So just pray and donate if you can to make these dreams come true. And I will now pass the microphone over to Sharmishta to introduce our speakers. And that's all I have to say for the organization.